how you all are doing today? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And friends, this is the last video of this year, and today we are going to see how to perform a restoration of the virtual machine from its backup data. So if you follow me, the last two sessions we have seen about AWS Backup Service. We have seen how to configure the backup plans, protected resources, backup faults, etc. And we will continue with the restoration of a virtual machine from its backup data today. Okay. So before going to proceed, if you are new to my YouTube channel, please hit the bell icon to subscribe to this channel. So let's get started. As you can see, this is the dashboard of AWS Backup Service, and under dashboard we have backup plan, on demand, and lots of things. So in the last session we have seen how the on-demand backup was triggered. Okay, and let me directly go to protected resources. Here, if you remember, we had 3 instances, 2 Linux machines and 1 Windows machine that we have added to the scheduled backup. And if I click any of these resources, for example this one, you can see here. So we have configured the backup to run at 10:30 UTC time. Okay, you can see the time here, 10:30 CET. Okay, so this is as per that the backup is running, and so far we have the backup till yesterday, that is 10:30. It's daily once, it runs at 10:30. Okay, so it was this has been completed. Okay, so that you can see, and in another page you can see these are our EC2 instances that we have protecting right now. So it means these are the instances we are getting backed up on a daily basis to the backup vault. That backup vault we also see here. This is our vault which protects the resources. Okay, so that we have seen. Okay, now let me go to the protected resources. Okay, I will just go with any of this resource. Just let me select this one, and I can select, these are the recovery point. Okay, recovery points means it was the time when the data was backed up, that machine was backed up, so we will call it as a recovery point. And if we select and perform this restore button here, this will restore this virtual machine. So it means when we perform a restoration, what it will do, it will create another EC2 instance of the same, like, you can say it is exactly the same or replica of the same machine or clone. So if we restore this machine, so this machine has the ID as at the end you can see 4175B here. 4175B is our Windows machine. Okay, so if we restore this machine, it will create another Windows machine with the same config. Everything will be same in the restored virtual machine. Okay, so that is we are going to see. So let me select this one, recovery point. The creation time of this is 26th of December, that is as of yesterday it was backed up. I will just click on restore. Now you can see there are a couple of options we have with the restore option. The first option is network settings, and we have the various options like instance type. So here you can see we can create the EC2 instance or restore the machine to the same level or the greater than that. Okay, so friends, you can see under the network settings there are a couple of options. First is instance type. Okay, so here we can define the instance type. Like if we want the restored machine, say we want it should be of the higher configuration. Right now it is of t2.micro, you can see under instance type here. But if we want it to be restored to the higher version of the configuration, then we can select. Okay, otherwise by default it will show us as t2.micro, that of the original instance. Then under VPC, that is virtual private cloud setting, it will go with the default VPC. Okay, that is the default VPC that we have with this for this instance, that it will try to give us the options automatically of this existing machine. Okay, we don't need to do much things here. Subnet, again you can see the subnet setting, it's giving us this. Right now our machine is source machine is based out of Mumbai region. Okay, means it is giving us the same, that is AP South 1 is Asia Pacific, is belongs to Mumbai region, and it is giving us the subnet as the source subnet. Okay, if you want this machine to run in to be launched in another subnet, that we can select any of this other subnet as well. Okay, so by For this demonstration, I will go with the default setting. Security group, again it's going with the launch wizard 5, that is default security group. If you want, we can cross check. For example, let me just click on this web server, and where you will see the security setting is, you can click on security. Here you can see this is the security group. So security group is nothing but set of rules, okay, that we have seen what is the security group contains. In the EC2 section we have seen, so this is nothing but a set of rules, what should be allowed and denied traffic. Based on that we can define this everything here. So that is the thing. Then next thing is instance IAM role. Okay, so we can specify whether whatever this IAM role this existing machine have, it should be using the same, or we should proceed with the no IAM role. Okay, so if the original machine has an IAM role, so for example IAM stands for identity access management. Say for example our source machine was given a role like to access the S2. So say for example EC2 to S2, there is S3. If there is some role that has been assigned, then while restoration it will ask us whether it should proceed with the original IAM role or it should proceed with the no IAM role. Okay, and for the restoration here, this is very important thing, friends. Restoration, there is a little bit information to specify the IAM role that AWS Backup will assume when restoring the backup. Okay, what it means, like as we know, every service in the AWS, say for example this is AWS Backup Service, when it needs to talk to or perform some action with respect to EC2, there are some rules that is we call as a IAM, Identity Access Management rule. So to perform the restoration as well, this AWS Backup Service will need some special permission or role, you can say. Okay, and this section is for that. So we can either choose a different IAM role if we have, otherwise you can see there is a default role. If the AWS Backup default role is not present, one will be created for you with the correct permission. So if we don't have any role, it will AWS Backup will create a default role for us. Okay, that is it. So I will just leave the default role. I will click on advanced setting. Here you can see shutdown behavior. What should be shutdown behavior? Once we shut down this machine, whether it should just stop or it should terminate. So okay, this is the significance of this. I'll just select the stop, that is default one. And here there is another checkbox like enable termination protection. Okay, so if we select this one, so we will see if this button is ticked, then we can't terminate our EC2 instance. This is basically for the to prevent our EC2 instances by the if say someone is not aware and he will with the appropriate permission, if the person, if he accidentally deletes that EC2 instance, so it shouldn't occur. Hence we can enable the termination protection. So even accidentally it cannot be EC2 instance should not be deleted. That is the significance of this enable termination protection. So just enable that one. Placement group we have not seen yet, but we will see in the upcoming session. Okay, then let me go ahead. Tenancy, shared, everything. User data also we can specify user data like bootstrap script if we want, but I will leave it for now. Okay, and I'll just click on this button as a restore. So as soon as we restore, you can see it is in the pending state right now. I can click on this one. Even on the upper side you can see there is a restoration in progress. This may take several hours, like that it is mentioning. Okay, so you can see the status is running. And if we go to EC2 instance section here in the EC2 dashboard, you can see our machine is getting launched. This is that machine that we are being restoring. Okay, this is that machine. So it's getting initialized. So what is going to do is this web server, which is Windows based machine, is getting restored with some another name and with the same configuration of the original one. Okay, so that is it. It will have all those default features of the web server, that is the source original machine. Let's call web server as the source EC2 instance, and this will be the restore is destination machine. Okay, so that we are going to see. You can see it's getting initialized right now. In the meanwhile, let's check the progress here, and you can see it has been completed and the backup size is 30 GB because that machine was assigned with the 30 GB of the hard disk size, means it restored the 30 GB of data. And let's come back to the next page of the EC2 instance. You can see it's still getting initialized. So actually the status check is getting initialized. As we all know, even I have covered it in the EC2 section, there will be two checks. Okay, if you want, we can just click on any of this machine, say our web server. We can go to status checks, and you can see there are two status checks. One is system status check, another is instance status check. So both checks should be passed before the EC2 instance is available for the accessing it. Okay, so that is, it's getting initialized right now, and once both these checks are passed, then we can access that machine. Okay, so that is the significance of this status check. So this may take couple of minutes. Yeah, let's wait for a couple of minutes so that our EC2 instance is coming up, and in the meanwhile I can give it a name as web server. So that we will get to know which is this machine that is getting restored. Okay, it's still getting initialized, and you will notice there is an IP that has been assigned. So if the source machine was had the property that there is a public IP has been assigned to that, even the destination, that restored machine will also have the similar thing. It will have different IP, and you can see the public IP has been assigned to that. Now you can see out of two checks, one check has been passed. System status check has been passed, and instance status check is being it's initialized. So basically these checks will ensure whether underlying host or operating system everything is fine before we can access that machine. That is the use of these checks. You can see finally both these checks are passed. Even we can access this machine. How you will access it? Just click on this, click on connect, and it will have all those, as we have we are using the same security group as the source machine, so we have this RDP enabled for that as well. Okay, so that this machine can be accessed like that. So I'm not going to access right now. Okay, and another thing is let's try to terminate this. So in order to terminate, you can select this machine, and if I click on instance state, you can see the terminate instance is disabled. Can anyone know what is the reason why it's disabled? We can see stop instance and reboot instance. Terminate instance is disabled. So if you remember, while launching or performing the restoration, we have selected termination protection. Okay, so that's the reason it's not allowing us to terminate. So this is basically to avoid someone accidentally deleting the EC2 instance. Okay, so how you will disable it is, you can just select this machine again, go to action, instance setting. Okay, and here you can see an option, change termination protection. I will select on this one. Here termination protection is enabled. That's the reason it's not allowing us, or that button is grayed out. Okay, I'll just click on I'll just disable this one and save. So now if I again go to select this one and go to my instance state, you can see terminated instance is now it's available right now. Okay, So once you are done with the restoration, you can try to access this machine. It would be the same as your source machine. So you can see instance type is t2.micro for source, and destination that you restore machine also the same. Okay, so I can just terminate that one so that it will not incur any additional charges. Let's click on this one and select terminate instance. I'll just click on terminate. So friends, that's it. I wanted to show how we can perform the restoration. It's very easy and very straightforward. You can see you can perform the restoration of the virtual machine so that it will create the exactly same replica of the source machine. Okay. So thank you friends. Thanks for your love and support. I wish you have a very happy, prosperous and healthy new year 2023. Okay. And please stay tuned. Happy learning. Take care. Bye bye.